Hey there, friends. Close your eyes for a second and imagine this. You're stepping into a vibrant scene. Maybe it's a bustling networking event in New York, a high-stakes pitch meeting in London, or a lively Zoom call buzzing with professionals from across the globe. Your heart's doing a little dance, the energy's electric, and you're thinking, how do I make a connection that truly matters? We've all been there, haven't we? That moment when you want to captivate, inspire, and leave someone thinking, wow, I need to know this person. Today, I'm absolutely thrilled to share a treasure chest of wisdom that's been transforming lives for nearly a century. 5 irresistible communication tricks, inspired by the legendary Napoleon Hill, the mastermind behind Think and Grow Rich. These aren't just tips. They're like a superpower for winning hearts, building trust, and unlocking doors to success, whether you're chasing a dream job, growing a business, or simply forging deeper relationships. So grab a cozy seat, maybe a warm drink, and let's dive into how to think like Napoleon Hill and communicate like a champion. I'll never forget the first time I picked up Think and Grow Rich. I was in my early 20s, fresh out of college, and feeling like I was stumbling through life's maze. Networking events, total disasters, job interviews, awkward silences galore. I wanted to shine, to connect, to make things happen, but I didn't know how. Then I found this book, a global phenomenon that's sold over 100 million copies since 1937 and inspired everyone from entrepreneurs to world leaders. Napoleon Hill didn't just write a book. He distilled 25 years of studying giants like Andrew Carnegie, Thomas Edison, and Henry Ford into a blueprint for success. And at the heart of it, the art of communication, how to influence, persuade, and build relationships that last. Hill's insights aren't dusty old theories. They're vibrant, practical, and tailor-made for our fast-paced digital world. Whether you're at a tech summit in San Francisco, a creative workshop in Sydney, or sliding into someone's LinkedIn DMs, these tricks will make you unforgettable. Let's unpack them, one by one, with stories, science, and real-world tips to make them yours. Trick 1. Radiate a positive mental attitude. Napoleon Hill believed that a positive mental attitude, or PMA, as he called it, is the cornerstone of influence. He wrote, "Your mental attitude is the only thing over which you have complete control, and it determines your destiny." When you walk into a conversation with optimism, enthusiasm, and a genuine spark, it's like flipping on a light in a dim room. People are drawn to you, not because of what you say, but because of how you make them feel. Hill learned this from Andrew Carnegie, who built a steel empire, not just with smarts, but with a contagious positivity that inspired everyone around him. I saw this magic at a startup mixer in Seattle a few years back. I was nervous, surrounded by founders and coders who seemed to have it all figured out. But I remembered Hill's advice, radiate PMA. So, I took a deep breath, flashed a big smile, and walked up to a group saying, "Hey, this event's energy is incredible. I'm so excited to meet you all." That simple vibe shifted everything. People relaxed, opened up, and one guy even invited me to join his team's brainstorming session. My enthusiasm didn't just break the ice, it built a bridge. Science backs this up big time. A 2013 study in psychological science found that positive emotions are contagious, triggering mirror neurons in others' brains. When you're upbeat, others catch that vibe. A 2018 study from the University of California showed that enthusiastic speakers are rated as more persuasive, even if their arguments aren't perfect. So, how do you do this? Before any big interaction, pump yourself up. Think of a moment that makes you grin, like nailing a project or dancing to your favorite song. Walk in with a warm smile and say something like, "I'm so thrilled to be here. This is going to be great." It's like pouring sunshine into the conversation. And trust me, people will feel it. Trick 2. Speak with definite purpose. Hill was all about clarity and intention. He wrote, "Every person who wins in any undertaking must be willing to burn his ships and cut all sources of retreat." In communication, this means knowing why you're speaking and guiding the conversation toward that goal. Whether you're pitching a client, networking, or just catching up, a clear purpose is your North Star. It keeps you focused and makes others trust you're worth listening to. I learned this the hard way at a marketing conference in Miami. I met a potential collaborator but got stuck rambling about the venue, the food, the weather. Anything but what mattered. The chat fizzled, and I kicked myself for missing the chance. After rereading Hill, I realized I needed a purpose. So, at the next event, I went in with a clear goal: to learn about someone's project and explore a partnership. I asked targeted questions like, "What's the big vision for your work?" and shared my own goals concisely. "I'm passionate about helping brands tell their stories. Maybe we could team up." That led to a coffee meeting and a project that boosted my career. Research supports this. A 2019 study in management science found that goal-directed communication builds trust and cooperation, as it signals confidence and clarity. A 2021 study in Journal of Applied Psychology showed that speakers with a clear purpose are perceived as more competent. To apply this, ask yourself before any interaction, what do I want to achieve? Maybe it's sparking a collaboration, learning something new, or building rapport. Then, steer the conversation with purposeful questions or statements. For example, at a networking event, say, "I'd love to hear about your latest project. Maybe we can find ways to support each other." It's like setting a GPS for your words, keeping you on track and others engaged. Trick 3. Listen actively and show empathy. Hill was a huge fan of listening, really listening. He learned from Thomas Edison, who was known for his ability to hear people out, making them feel valued and understood. Hill wrote, "The ability to listen is as important as the ability to speak, and it builds bridges to the hearts of others." Active listening, where you focus fully, nod, and respond thoughtfully, turns a casual chat into a meaningful connection. Add a dash of empathy, and you've got a recipe for trust. I saw this work wonders at a startup pitch event in Boston. I met a woman who was visibly nervous about her presentation. Instead of offering quick advice, I leaned in and listened. She shared her fears about bombing on stage, and I said, "That sounds so tough. I can imagine how much pressure you're feeling. You've clearly put so much into this." That empathy opened her up. We ended up brainstorming ways to refine her pitch, and she nailed it. Later, she thanked me, saying my listening gave her the confidence to shine. That moment turned a stranger into a professional ally. All because I followed Hill's advice to listen with heart. Science is all over this. A 2020 study in emotion found that empathetic listening boosts oxytocin levels, the hormone that fosters bonding. A 2017 Harvard study showed that asking follow-up questions, like, "Wow, how did you handle that?" makes you more likable, as it signals genuine interest. To do this, ditch distractions. Put your phone away, maintain eye contact, or look at the camera on Zoom, and reflect what you hear. If someone says, "I'm swamped with work," respond, "That sounds intense. How are you holding up?" It's like giving them a warm hug with your words, and it makes them feel truly seen. Trick 4. Inspire with compelling stories. Hill was a storytelling genius, and he believed stories are the secret to persuasion. In Think and Grow Rich, he shares how Henry Ford inspired his team by painting vivid pictures of his vision for affordable cars, turning skeptics into believers. Hill wrote, "Facts alone are cold and lifeless, but stories breathe warmth and meaning into ideas." A great story doesn't just inform. It captivates, connects, and sticks in people's minds long after you've left the room. I tried this at a networking dinner in San Francisco, and it was a game changer. I was seated with potential clients, and instead of rattling off my skills, I shared a story about a small business I helped rebrand. I described their struggles, our late-night strategy sessions, and the moment they saw their sales soar. I said, seeing their team's faces light up, "That's why I do this." The table was hooked. One person leaned in and said, "That's exactly what we need. Can we talk?" That story didn't just showcase my work. It made me human, relatable, and memorable. Research loves this approach. A 2015 study in marketing science found that storytelling increases engagement by making information more memorable and emotionally compelling. A 2016 study in Journal of Consumer Psychology showed that stories trigger emotional responses that make listeners more likely to act, like hiring you or collaborating. To use this, Craft a quick story that ties to your message. For example, if you're pitching yourself, say, "Last year, I worked with a startup that was struggling to stand out. We built a campaign together, and seeing their growth was electric." Keep it vivid, concise, and relatable. Think of it like a mini movie that stars your idea. It's like planting a seed that grows in their imagination. Trick 5. Create win-win connections. Hill's philosophy was all about mutual success. He wrote, "You can succeed best and quickest by helping others to succeed." In communication, this means framing every interaction so both sides walk away feeling they've gained something. Whether it's knowledge, opportunity, or just a boost of confidence. Hill learned this from Andrew Carnegie, who built alliances by ensuring everyone felt valued and invested in the outcome. I saw this in action at a co-working space in Denver. I met a graphic designer and could have just asked for a favor, but instead, I took Hill's approach. I said, "I'd love to connect. Maybe I can share some marketing insights, and you could tell me about your design process." We spent an hour exchanging ideas, and it led to a collaboration that benefited us both. By focusing on mutual gain, I turned a casual chat into a partnership that opened new doors. Science supports this. A 2019 study in organizational behavior and human decision processes found that collaborative communication, where both parties see benefits, builds trust and fosters long-term cooperation. A 2020 study in Journal of Business Research showed that win-win framing increases likability and persuasion. To apply this, think about what you can offer, no matter how small. Maybe it's a tip, an introduction, or just a fresh perspective. Say things like, "Let's explore how we can help each other grow." Or, "I'd love to share some ideas. What challenges are you tackling?" It's like building a bridge where both sides meet in the middle, stronger together. Bringing it to the digital age. Now let's talk about how these tricks shine in our digital world. Networking isn't just handshakes and coffee chats anymore. It's LinkedIn messages, Zoom calls, and Instagram stories. But Hill's principles are timeless. Take radiating positivity. When I send a LinkedIn message, I keep it upbeat and personal, like, "Hi Emma, your post on sustainable design was so inspiring. I'd love to chat about your work." A 2020 LinkedIn report found that personalized, positive messages get 15% higher response rates. It's Hill's PMA, just online. For speaking with purpose, I always have a goal for digital interactions. On a Zoom call, I might say, "I'm excited to learn about your project. Maybe we can explore a collaboration." It keeps things focused even through a screen. Active listening. On video calls, I nod, use names, and say things like, "That's a brilliant point, Liam. Can you tell me more?" It warms up the virtual room. Storytelling works in digital posts too. I'll share a quick anecdote in a LinkedIn comment like, "Your project reminds me of a client I helped grow. It was such a win." And for win-win connections, I always offer something in digital outreach like, "I'd love to share some resources. What's a goal you're working toward?" Here's a story from Hill's book that ties it all together. He once coached a struggling businessman who couldn't close deals. Hill told him to approach clients with a positive attitude, a clear purpose, empathetic listening, a compelling story, and a focus on mutual benefit. The man started every meeting with a smile, asked about the client's needs, shared a story of past success, and proposed solutions that benefited both sides. Within months, his sales skyrocketed, and he credited Hill's advice for turning his career around. That's the power of these tricks. They don't just win people over. They transform how you move through the world. Why this matters? So, why should you care about these communication tricks? Because in our busy, screen-filled lives, real connection is rare. And it's everything. Hill's strategies help you stand out, not by being the loudest or flashiest, but by being the most genuine, the most curious, the most inspiring. They're about creating moments that matter. Whether it's a warm smile that breaks the ice, a story that sparks a partnership, or a listening ear that builds trust. These tricks aren't just for networking events or boardrooms. They're for every interaction, from job interviews to coffee chats to family dinners. I want to share one more story, inspired by Hill's own journey. In Think and Grow Rich, he tells of meeting a young entrepreneur who felt stuck, unable to convince investors to back his idea. Hill advised him to combine enthusiasm, clarity, empathy, stories, and mutual benefit. The entrepreneur went to his next pitch radiating positivity, sharing a vivid story of his vision, listening to the investors' concerns, and proposing a deal that benefited everyone. He walked away with funding and a network of supporters, all because he communicated like Hill taught him to. Here's my challenge to you. Try one of these tricks this week. Flash a positive smile in your next Zoom meeting and watch the vibe shift. Ask a purposeful question at a networking event like, "What's your big goal this year?" Share a quick story in a LinkedIn post about a win you've had. Listen with empathy when a colleague vents, and offer a win-win idea in your next email. Start small but keep at it. Over time, you'll notice something incredible. People will gravitate toward you. They'll trust you, remember you, and want to work with you. Your confidence will soar, your network will grow, and your life will light up with possibilities. Napoleon Hill said, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve." These communication tricks aren't just about winning others over. They're about believing in your own power to connect, inspire, and create change. They're about thinking like Hill, dreaming big, and showing up as your best self in every conversation. Thanks for spending this time with me. It's been a blast sharing these ideas with you. If you try these tricks, drop a comment and let me know how it goes. I'd love to hear your stories. Until next time, keep shining, keep connecting, and keep being your extraordinary self. See you soon.